It's a huge privilege and an honor to be here with all of you today, old friends and new friends. I just want to first thank so much Pastor Phil and Pastor Mark and Brother Joe for having me here. They've been brothers that have been stood alongside me for this whole journey, and such an honor to be here with all of you and to share my life in Nepal with all of you, and share what God's doing in Nepal and in my heart and in the people in Nepal. It's really an honor to be here and share this with you. First, I want to share with you a little bit where it all started. Over a decade ago, God for the first time put the country of Nepal in my heart. And it started from a friend of mine from Colorado Springs who was a missionary there, and he had a heart for the Tibetan people in Nepal. And he lived there for several years, and he had a huge heart, a huge burden for the people there. And he, long story short, he ended up giving his life to the country. He died in 2006 in a motorcycle accident in Nepal while serving there. And he was a huge inspiration to me, and still is, and people still talk about him to this day over there. And just seeing the fruit of his work, seeing what he did, and the huge impact that he had because of his love for God, because of his love for the people there, is a huge encouragement. So that was in 2006. And so, as inspiration, my first visit to Nepal was in 2007, a year after that. And then I visited again in 2010, 2011, and 2013, before moving there full-time January 1st, 2014, almost 2 years ago. And every time I went there, my heart grew more and more for the people there. I saw Jesus more and more in the poor and the orphan and the needy there. And it's something that every time I went, I built relationships with people. And every time I went and followed up again, these relationships were renewed. And I was able to just share life with these people and watch them grow up, watch them change, watch them be impacted in a fruitful way. And so because of all those things, I knew that God had it in my plans and on my heart to be there full-time someday. And so it was a dream of mine. And so 2 years ago, I was finally able to make that happen. And I know that God had me there at this time for a certain reason, because it's been one of the craziest years in the country's history. There have been earthquakes, there have been political chaos. There's a lot of stuff that's happened. And so I know I was there for a reason, and I was able to help with some amazing organizations that I'm going to speak about. So if you can go to the next slide. So I want to tell you a little bit about the country, because it's not a country that a lot of people know about. It's a small country, about 28 million people, and it's located right between China and India. So you have these two huge countries with huge populations, growing economies, with huge influence on the world. And here you have little Nepal right between the two, trying to stay afloat between these two, giant big brother neighbors. So for such a small country, it's really diverse. At its lowest point, I think it's at 200 feet above sea level, and then it goes all the way up to Mount Everest, which is nearly 30,000 feet. And so within a small space, there's tons of diversity, not just with the geography, but with the people. There are dozens and dozens of different ethnic groups who speak different languages, that have different cultures. Some of them have ancestry from India, some have ancestry from Mongolia, Tibet. And so for such a small country, it's so much diversity, and it's really vibrant. And I love that so much. It's a very religious country. About 81% of the country are Hindu, 9% are Buddhist, about 4% are Muslim, and about 1.5% are Christian. And that number is growing every day. Every year that number is growing as more and more people are getting to hear the gospel and to learn more about Jesus and the Word of God. So the country is extremely poor. These days, they don't really use the term third world country anymore in academics and things, but they use the term developing country. So you have your developed country, which is like the U.S., like our home. Then you have developing country, and then your bottom rung is what they call least developed country. And Nepal is categorized as a least developed country, and it's on the bottom 25 poorest countries in the entire world. A lot of people live under $1 a day and survive trying to support their families with such a low wage. So next slide. So before I continue, I want to tell you a little bit about what God has put on my heart and some scriptures that God has put on my heart about my calling to Nepal. And I think this encompasses all of our calling, no matter where our mission fields are. And so one scripture that God has put on my heart for years now, and I'm sure all of you have heard it, it's Matthew 25:31 through 46. And I'll read it to you quickly. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations. He will separate people one from another as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep on his right, the goats on his left. And the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you drink? And when did we see you a stranger and welcome you, or naked and clothe you? And when did we see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will answer him, "Truly I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me." And so that, going into Nepal for the first time up until today, that's been my goal, is to love in that way, to serve in that way, to serve the poor, to clothe the naked, to help the sick, to provide homes for the homeless. And that's been my goal, and the organizations I work with, we all strive to be Jesus, be his hands and feet, and to see Jesus in the eyes of the people that we serve. And additionally, another scripture that I can never speak without mentioning is James 1:27, which says, "Pure and undefiled religion is this, to care for the widow and the orphan in their distress, and to keep oneself being corrupted from the world." So God gave me a huge heart also for the orphan, and it's been an honor to be able to mentor and to walk alongside a lot of young men, young women who have no family, who grew up in children's homes and different very difficult situations, and to just serve them and be a big brother and walk with them through life. So I'll share a little bit about that story in a minute as well. So, next slide please. So I like to do things in a little different way, and this service has been different. And so instead of quoting Mother Teresa or Billy Graham or someone like that, I'm quoting Bono. And he said something at the White House prayer breakfast several years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago now, that really stuck with me. And I thought it really captured, the heart of God. It says, "God is in the slums, in the cardboard boxes where the poor play house. God is in the silence of a mother who has infected her child with a virus that will end both of their lives. God is in the cries heard under the rubble of war. God is in the debris of wasted opportunity and lives. And God is with us if we are with them." I think that captures the heart of Matthew 25. And again, it's something that has encouraged me as I walked through Nepal to serve the people. Next slide, please. So I think my time in Nepal can be encompassed in three themes. It's through learning, through living, and through doing. And so first, I want to talk to you a little bit about the learning. And when I very first set off to Nepal 2 years ago, one of my goals was to learn how to serve the people, to learn the needs of Nepal, to learn the intricacies of the poverty there. And I realized it's a really complex situation. So I did something, again, very different. I took an unusual route, and I went out there and enrolled in a local Nepali university in one of their master's programs. I had my bachelor's in Colorado Springs at UCCS. And for years, I toyed around the idea of getting a master's degree, but I never thought that God would lead me to get a master's degree in a country like Nepal. And it's been amazing to be able to to talk about issues facing the country with the people of the country, to learn from Nepali PhDs who not only know what's going on but have lived it, to learn about poverty and the situations going on in the country while those things are happening right outside the door, to talk about the struggling economy and the infrastructure and all these things in class while the power goes out in class because the infrastructure is so bad. And so I believe that this was one of the God's ways to help me to learn about the country in such a deeper way, to fall in love with the country in such a deeper way. And so I ended up enrolling in the next slide. A program called Masters of Development Studies, and development covered a multitude of different things, all having to do with serving the people of Nepal. And so I was able to learn about lots of different stuff, including the infrastructure there, the extreme poverty there, the gender inequalities, the ethnic diversity inequalities, the economics, and all these different things that are facing the country and the country's struggling with. It's been really, really awesome 2 years in this program, and I'm nearly finished. I finished all my classes, and now all I have left to do is finish my final thesis. And it's a project that I'm really excited about as well, which is a study. I'm going to be studying people with disabilities in villages in the country, and it's learning about how people think of them, the stigmas that people put on them. So it'll be a great way to learn about that and also encourage the people while I'm there. So it's been an awesome 2 years, and in my entire class, my entire program, I was the only white guy there. It was all Nepali students, all Nepali teachers, and there was me. And so it was really, really awesome to be put into that environment and learn in that unique way. All right, so community. So I talked a little bit about the learning aspect, and now the living aspect. And I think this is something that's too important to overlook. It's the living. And I think ministry isn't just your 9-to-5 job or your weekend project, but ministry is your day-to-day life, and it includes the people you spend your time around. It includes the people you walk alongside. It includes the people who you invest in, and they see you at your best and they see you at your worst, and you get to encourage them as you walk through life together. And that, for me, this aspect of life, this aspect of Nepal, my life in Nepal is so important. And so some of the friendships I've been able to make there are so invaluable, and I think it has a lot to do with my time there and why God has sent me there. And so before I talk a little bit about some of the projects that we're doing, I wanted to share a little bit about the community. And so I'm going to share with you 3 of the closest friends I've made there. And part of my goal when going there is, in addition to a wonderful church body that I've been able to get plugged into, in addition to fellow missionaries to encourage me and to strengthen me and to lift me up, I wanted to make friends with people who were different from me, those who didn't know Jesus. I want to become close friends with people who were Nepali, who their cultures were totally different from my own. All with the heart of, just like Jesus said, it's the sick that need a doctor, not the healthy. But at the same time, I wanted to be true friends with these people, see them as I see any other friends, and love them as brothers and friends. And so I was able, 2 years later, I've been able to make some awesome friends with people just like this, who I call brothers, who we were able to walk day to day with. So first I want to share with you, this is my closest friend I've made in Nepal. His name is Tenzin. And he's an awesome young man who's a professional quality mountain biker. And he is a mountain biking guide for his family business. And he's got a magnetic personality. And although he comes from a Buddhist family, in many ways I'm so encouraged by him, and I learn so much from him in the way that he conducts himself. Many ways he does Christ-like things without even knowing much about Christ. He's the type of guy who I've literally seen stop on the side of the road and help a blind lady cross the street and do things like this. And it's amazing for me to be able to learn from people like this who are so different from myself. So if you can remember Tenzin and say a prayer for him, as the years go on and his father's getting older, he soon will be taking the reins on the family business and taking that responsibility. So pray for him as he's doing that, and pray for me that I can continue to be a friend and encouragement to him. Next, this is Alex, and there's a really awesome story here of God really working and moving. Before I left to Nepal 2 years ago, I worked for 4 years with refugees in Colorado Springs with refugee youth as a mentor, and I worked full-time teaching and working and mentoring refugee youth. And one of the biggest groups of kids that I worked with were from the country of Burma in Southeast Asia. And so I really grew to love the people of Burma and the youth of Burma. I got to know their culture really well. And Burma has a huge place on my heart as well. And so as it turns out, just a few months after moving to Nepal, I was introduced to Alex, who happened to be a refugee from Burma and an orphan from there. And so because of my connection with Burma, we hit it off right away and become good friends. He's also a mountain biker, and he's the head mechanic at a local bicycle shop. So it's been awesome just to live life with Alex as a friend, as a mentor, and to be there with him as he's learning to just grow up and be a man. And so if you can pray for Alex, he's 22, and he's an orphan, he's on his own, And so for the past few years, he's been living on his own. And just pray for him as he continues to grow older. Pray that he'll continue to grow and make friends who are godly people that can continue to influence him in a positive way. So if you can pray for Alex in that way, that'd be awesome. So next, mentoring. I've also been able to continue to build relationships that I've had and disciple some awesome young men of God. And it's been awesome since I've been visiting Nepal since 2007. I've been connected with some children's homes there. So it's been great to get to know some of the young men there and watch them grow up over the years and get to know these young men for years and years and years, and to just be a big brother who disciples them in the ways of God. And so of all these young men, I want to introduce you to the next slide, please. This is Icky, and I've known Icky since 2010, and he and I have become really, really close friends. I see him as my own family, like my own little brother, and Merobai Icky means my little brother Icky. And so you can see the photos here. The upper left is from 2010, next one is 2011, 2013, this bottom one was taken just about 2 months ago. So it's been really, really cool to see him grow and grow into a man of God, grow in maturity and responsibility, and just to walk with him. And so Icky, he's because right now he for the first time he's going to be moving out of the orphanage hostel where he's been living his whole life, and he'll be getting his own apartment. And so he's asked me to help him, and I'm thrilled to be able to help him. And so just pray for him as he's walking into this big step in his life. So that's Icky. So that really is a snapshot of my community of living in Nepal and the ministry that I get to do outside of my work time, outside of my project time. But I think so much fruit comes from the influence you have with people you see day in and day out. All right, so next, please. So next I want to talk about the doing aspect, some of the projects that I've been blessed to be able to work with. And this first project I'm going to talk about is what I've spent most of my time working with, been able to be a part of, and it's an organization called Portal Lives. And Portal was founded in 2013 by a fellow Puebloan and his family. It's Caleb Spear and the Spear family. And they grew up in Pueblo. They went to Pueblo Christian Center on the south side, and they've been a part of the community for a long time. And Caleb has had a huge heart for the poor and serving the needy, and for Nepal ever since I've known him. And so this guy, Caleb, he's pretty much a genius. He's graduated from Colorado College in Colorado Springs, and he's the epitome of an entrepreneur and a thinker and an inventor. And he's come up with some really, really awesome projects to serve the people of Nepal in an innovative and unique and creative way. And so it's been really, really awesome to partner with him and to help him in this project. Let's see. So at Portal, we believe in serving the poor, and that's the heart of the organization. Because we believe that all forms of evils, whether it be human trafficking, whether it be disease, whether it be anything like that, child labor, whether it be malnutrition, corruption, that all stems from poverty. Because it's because of poverty that a father may sell his child into slavery. It's because of poverty that people may not get the medicines that are available to them, and they contract diseases. Because of poverty that children are growing up malnourished and unhealthy. And poverty is at the stem of all these things. So we believe that if we could serve the people who are poor, if we could put a dent in poverty, then we can help cure a whole multitude of evils. So that is the heart of the Portal organization. And so, next slide. So we're doing this in a unique way, and it's through the bicycle. And the bicycle is more than just a tool, but it's more than just a toy or anything else or transportation, but it's really we believe an engine of mobility, an engine that something that can really shape someone's life in a really impactful way. And so we work with locals in Kathmandu and all throughout Nepal, and we believe that locals there, they deserve more than just a handout, but the way that you can really affect their lives is with a handout. And a lot of them, most people, we believe that all people have the ability to be entrepreneurs themselves. They have the ability to serve their families in a great way. And a lot of times, all the people are lacking is just the means to do it, the tools to do it, the opportunities. And so that's what we strive to do, is provide them with opportunity, provide them with the tools. And one of the tools is this portable cargo bike. And in a country like Nepal, where this capital city is so crowded and so congested, and in many rural parts of the country, the bicycle is a perfect tool. So this is the cargo bicycle, which is basically a bicycle that is stretched out. And with bicycle you can travel 4 times as fast as if you're walking, and you can carry 3 times as much. So it's really incredible what you're able to do. And so we've been able to partner with local entrepreneurs, as we call them, local people who have small businesses, who are struggling to make ends meet, who are living in poverty, and giving them the opportunity with this tool to try to make more efficient businesses, to try to impact their families and impact their community, and to pull themselves out of poverty. And so with the long bicycle design, obviously you can carry stuff. And so this is one of our entrepreneurs. This is Mr. Mara, and he's a door-to-door salesman of toiletries, different types of products. Bathroom stuff, diapers, this and that. And so he's video is coming up of him soon, but he's one example of one of our portal entrepreneurs who's been able to use one of these tools to really grow his business and to support his family. And so we have portal bikes out in the community, owned by tea shops, and they do deliveries of their different teas and different treats and different Nepali foods. We have a painter who carries all of his paint equipment across town and is able to do more work in more places. We have some children's homes who are able to serve the orphans that they serve in a better way by being able to go take 1 trip to the store to get supplies rather than 4 trips or 5 trips. We have a chip salesman, a guy who sells potato chips door to door. We have an electrician. We have an entrepreneur who owns a flower shop nursery. He's able to use the bike for deliveries. So it's been really amazing to see the different opportunities that this bike's have been able to provide for people. So the really unique part about this bike, in addition to it being a long bike, is what we call the power takeoff. And you can see on the left here, there's an extra cable that spins, extra chain that spins a drive shaft. And what this does is this makes the bicycle more than just a transportation device, but a machine. Something where you can, by pedal power tools, and again, create more efficient businesses and grow your businesses and serve your community and your family in a better way. And so the heart behind this is it's a normal bicycle. You can pedal around all you want, kick down the kickstand, and instantly attach a tool, and it becomes a machine, pedal powered machine. In a country like Nepal, where there's no electricity for sometimes 16, 17 hours a day, where most people can't afford a car or a motorcycle to get around, something like a pedal power tool is invaluable and can really, really impact people's lives. And so we have and we're in the process of developing many different types of tools, like a grain grinder, because Nepal is largely agricultural. Most people grow their own food and their own crops to survive. And so we have a lot of tools that will help in that sector. So we have a grain grinder, we've done corn shellers, water pumps. We're in the process of working on a generator. And one of the fun ones that we're doing, as you can see here, is a pedal-powered portable washing machine. Most people, they wash their clothes by hand. And nearly everyone washes their clothes by hand, which of course takes a lot of time, and it's hard on your hands. And so a lot of women spend hours and hours and hours washing clothes. And so the thought behind a tool like this is you can have a woman who maybe her side job is washing clothes. And so by washing by hand, there's only a little bit that she can do. But imagine if she can get a cargo bike like this, go door to door, pick up all the laundry that she can fit on the back of the bicycle, drive it back to her house, hook up this washing machine, and then by pedal power, wash the clothes. Wow. So that's one of our prototypes that we're working on and we're really excited about. So it's ingenuity and innovation like this is what I really believe can really changed people's lives and impacted the poor of Nepal, and why I'm really excited to be a part of Portal. All right, so next slide, please. And again, this saves people so much time, because time is so valuable. In Nepal, people, even today, they grow corn is a very common crop, and they take the kernels off just by hand with their thumbs. It takes hours and hours and hours, and you get blisters, and it's something that people shouldn't have to do with the technology we have. And so that was one of the inspirations behind this cargo bike and the power takeoff. Because here we're testing a pedal-powered corn sheller, where just in a few seconds it'll strip the corn of all the kernels. And we did a test here at this village, and we were able to do in about 1.5 to 2 hours what would normally take someone a day and a half to do. So it's really, really amazing. So next, please. So now I wanted to show you a quick video that we made at Portal, showing one of our entrepreneurs, and this is Mr. Bharat again. So we'll pull that up now. Smile on his face, and such a enthusiastic guy. So we're doing really awesome with Portal, and things were growing, and we were ready to grow the project bigger and bigger, and things change, and that's life, and things change. And so on April 25th, we experienced, I'm sure you've all heard about, the 7.8 magnitude earthquake, which was one of the craziest things I've ever lived through, and for the people of Nepal, it's something that, of course, changed their lives forever. So with this earthquake, just real quick, my story, I was actually with my class, my master's class, and we were about 50 miles south of the city, and we were doing a little bit of research work in a village, and so we were riding the bus. We just finished our work, and we're going back to the nearest city for the day, and we're going to return to Kathmandu, the capital, the next day. And so we were driving along on this dirt road, and my first thought was, oh, we must have got stuck in the mud because we did the previous day, because the bus was rocking like this. And then as it continued for a few seconds, then it kind of hits you, especially when I looked out the window and there are some village houses with wooden shingle roofs, and you can see the shingles like a wave going like this. And that's when we all realized what had happened. And so it was really frightening, and even though I was basically in one of the safest places possible, because they say, earthquakes don't kill people, it's buildings that kill people. And so where I was extremely safe, and so I was really, really blessed and fortunate being in that spot. The scary thing was being cut off from the city where all of our friends and family were, because the cell phone network's gone down, and we really didn't know what was happening. We'd get words here and there, rumors about this place was destroyed and that place was destroyed. And so it all ended up working well for us and my people that I know. But in the end, over 9,000 people ended up being killed in the earthquake. And the capital city, Kathmandu, fared pretty well. There were some really, really old buildings and old structures that collapsed, and many people were killed because of that. But luckily, most, I would say over 95% of the buildings, which are made out of concrete, survived and they stood up. And so it remained largely unscathed. But as time went on, we got to see really what the magnitude of the damage was. And most of the damage was in the villages outside of the city, where they don't use cement and rebar to build their houses. But like you can see here, they use stone and bricks and mud. And so there's really no support there. And so there are some estimates that say that as many as 800,000 houses were either completely destroyed or are unlivable and unsafe. 800,000 houses. So I did a little research, and in Pueblo city limits, according to the most recent census, it said there are 46,000 households here. And so you can imagine, this is the same as if all of the houses in Pueblo were destroyed or damaged 16 times over. So that just really shows you the huge magnitude of the damage there. And so many people who were rendered homeless, who had to live under tarps or in their animal pens. So it was really, really sad to see. And so, so we, as an organization, as Portal, we got together and we decided, well, what is this that we can do? What is our unique niche? What is our skills that can really help serve the people? Because there were world governments flying giant Apache helicopters in. There was huge organizations doing a lot of work, and so we're like, us as a tiny organization, what can we really do to serve and to help? Next slide, please. And so, through a Facebook post of one of our good friends, we were able to start a project that we're able to serve a lot of people in a really great way, and it's through these shelters. And so, a friend of ours had worked in Pakistan after a great flood in 2010, and he helped build temporary shelters that look like this, which are an basically arched dome, kind of like a hut that's simply built out of tubing and CGI sheets, and it's strapped together. And so these, after hearing this, we got together and we talked and we thought, is this something that can really help the people of Nepal? Is this something that can really benefit those in need here? And so, next slide, please. So we did, shortly thereafter, we did a lot of brainstorming. We did some research about the materials that are locally available. And we thought, could we make this work here? Is this something that people will use? Is it something that can be dispatched? Something that can really help the people? So Thursday we came up with the initial drawings. By Friday we had started building a prototype, and this is a bender to bend the pipes to make the shape. Next slide, please. By that evening we had our very first prototype set up in just a yard in the neighborhood. Next slide, please. And by the following Monday morning we had our very first shelter sent out to a village. And you can see the family on the bottom, husband and wife and all their young daughters. And so because we were able to send this first shelter out to this family, and we were able to see their response, and they were overjoyed, and they were so happy to get this shelter. And so we thought, okay, this is something that can really make a difference in the lives of people here. And so again, as a small organization, we knew that we can only do a little bit. But one thing that is unique to us that we are skilled in is we knew metal manufacturing. We knew because of the bicycles. We knew the hardware shops. We knew how to weld. We knew all these different skills. And that's something that a lot of organizations don't necessarily know. And so we thought, instead of building shelters ourselves, what we can do is we can make a larger impact if we partner with different organizations, nonprofits, governments, different groups and villages and churches, and teach them how to build these, provide them with the materials, and send them out to make an impact. And so we posted this online, and we got a huge, huge response. And so, next please. And so you can see a video. This was during the heart of this project, and us preparing materials and sending them out to the villages. And here's some of my good friends and co-workers describing it.
My name is Dustin Alarid, and I'm in Black's class I have worked before it's the best job experience I've ever had.
My name is Alarid. I've been volunteering with OZA for over 2 weeks now. Being here in Nepal is nice to be able to make up this valley, learn to work with the team. So got to learn a few set of new skills that is
too as well. It's a lot of fun actually every day. Like yeah, we have a awesome guys and yeah, like make laughing jokes. Even we forget sometimes that we just finish the day because yeah, it's very nice to work with you. While loading jobs is like really tiresome. It's like you should like heavy stuff. But after loading the truck, you feel like sort of like peace because you know like where the sailors are going. Like, the sailors are going to those homeless people, so they are going to have a shade over the head, and that's what makes a big difference. And what like Portal is like doing, making a big difference in this like outbreak like areas.
So in the end, by the end of the summer, we were able to partner with 137 different organizations, from villages to Rotary clubs to local churches to the United Nations to local Nepali government, the Nepali army, and if you go to the next slide, we ended up sending out 5,400 shelters to over 40 communities throughout Nepal. And so it's something that it just blew us away that we were able to, through partnering with other organizations, make such a huge impact. At the same time, it's such a small impact, considering how many people were affected. And so, next slide. So our work continues with earthquake relief, and we're starting to shift our focus from temporary shelter to helping people rebuild their houses. And so we have a project that we are in the process of launching here in the next few weeks and few months. And it's instead of temporary houses, it's prefab steel structures that can maintain the looks of a traditional house that people are used to, but can be cheap to build, that can be easily deployable, and most importantly are safe, that are earthquake resistant. So that's something that's on the horizon now. Next slide. And that we've sent out a few demo houses of these, and the response has been fantastic. And so we're really excited to launch this, and we believe that for the next 4 or 5 years, we can continue to provide these houses for people who've lost everything in the earthquake. All right, next slide, please. All right, so again, things change, and right now it's a long story. I won't get into the details of it, but there's a big political mess going on right now, and basically there are an ethnic group in southern Nepal who, because of a new constitution that was passed, they're very unhappy, and they've been protesting at the border to India for over 90 days now. For over 90 days, the border has been shut, and 60% of all of Nepal's imports come from India, and all of Nepal's fuel comes from India. So there's been a huge fuel shortage where people are waiting 3-4 days in line just to get gas for their motorcycle. Families are running out of cooking gas for their homes, and they're using wood to cook on. And so there are some estimates that are saying that the economic impact of this man-made disaster will far exceed the economic impact of the earthquake itself. And this is something that's still continuing on to this day. And I just read a report this week that said that there's a chance that over 1 million people will be pushed into poverty because of the situation. So something that really needs to be on all of our prayers. And so it's a huge, huge problem. And one of the things also is because of the situation, earthquake relief projects are being put to a halt, including ours. We were hoping to launch it a few months ago, but weren't able to. And so if you can just keep Nepal in your prayers for this situation, help spread the word about what's going on, because international media sometimes overlooks a small country like Nepal. Okay, so kind of looking towards the future, we have more bikes on the way, and considering the crisis going on right now, we see even more of the value that bicycles have for a country like Nepal. And so we have a container coming in the next few months, and we hope to be able to provide dozens and dozens and hundreds more eventually of people with bicycles to help them pull themselves out of poverty. And so how you can help? I think the greatest thing you can do is just to pray for the country, pray for the people, pray for the political situation, pray for our organization, because those prayers matter. And And I really believe that it's because of the prayers that we've had from all of you over the past few years is why we've been able to make such an impact in the country. And so I believe that you and I have been in this together this whole time. And it hasn't been just me doing this project and you watching, but we've been partnering it together, not only through your financial donations, but through your prayer. So that's the greatest thing. Secondly is to spread the word. Go to our Facebook page, share our stories, tell people about Portal. And the more that we tell people about Nepal and the problems there and the ways that we serve, the more I think that the country can be helped and impacted. And if you feel led to donate to any of the projects of Portal, you can go to portalbikes.org. Or if you feel led to donate to my personal expenses, that's something I'd be blessed to have as well. But those are some ways that you can help in the country of Nepal. Next, please. So it's been a crazy, crazy year, and I couldn't have been there without your support, your encouragement, your love, your prayers, your financial donations. And Nepal is a country that's still in my heart. And 2 years in, I still love the country as much as I did the very first time I visited there. And I see myself there, like Pastor Phil said, in the indefinite future. I have no plans of slowing down. I love the people there dearly, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds. So I'm so excited to be able to be part of such an awesome organization who has the heart to be the hands and feet of Jesus, to serve the poor, to house the homeless, to care for the needy, to mentor and look after the orphan. And so I really believe that if we continue to encourage each other and partner together in our prayers and our encouragements, that we all can have a huge impact in Nepal for decades and for eternity.